Okay, so ulat natin ngayon ay chismis. But not just ordinary chismis ha.
May konting real talk din kasama. Kasi, medyo tatamaan ka.
Kaya, welcome to...
From Cagayan de Oro City, you're watching Chika Corner!
Have you guys ever opened your phone and scrolled for a few minutes and said na, wow, they've gone so far in their life, I'm not enough because I'm not like them.
Yes, actually. Have you seen those videos of those younger generations of us who suddenly seem to have a better life, or like they're already working? I mean, they already have a business plan ahead of them, and they're just doing better relatively compared to you.
Yeah.
It makes me so jealous sometimes.
Yeah, other than that, I could actually relate to it because I saw like some videos who beautiful people, and you cannot help but compare yourself, and even I myself do that. But then I combat it through reminding myself that, you know, I have my own beauty.
Yes.
As people, we often perceive beauty as something deeply connected to our identity, which is why almost as if we deem it as it defines who we are. It becomes an ideal we try so hard to reach, or standard we attempt to fit into, even without fully questioning where it comes from. And I think that what makes this even more important to talk about is the fact that most of the time, we don't even realize that this is already happening, diba? Like, it's not always obvious. It's very subtle. It's in the things we scroll through, the people we follow, and the trends we see every day on various social media platforms. And because of that, beauty always becomes something we feel like we need to achieve, like a goal that we need to try so hard to reach, and then rather than something we naturally have. And because of that, we tend to internalize them and compare ourselves with that.
It makes you question nga, what exactly are beauty standards and who even creates them? Because if you take a step back and look at beauty trends from a few years ago, one thing becomes really clear. Beauty ideals have constantly changed over time. Like what was considered beautiful a few years ago, it might not even fit the standard of what's considered beautiful today.
Actually, though, not all, but some old beauty standards still live up to date. One, for example, I'd say is the white skin tone, which before was considered as a symbol for nobility or wealth, because it meant that you'd stay indoors compared to or
working
different.
class.
Yes, the other class who worked outside and were tanned, you know. Yes, you get what I mean.
Yes.
So it was actually considered in many cultures, such as in Japan. What they refer to it is the oshiroi makeup. In the Heian period, the oshiroi, sorry for my pronunciation.
It's okay. We're not familiar with that term.
It's often used by female entertainers or geisha, court ladies, dancers, and so on and so forth.
Actually, I'm a watcher of anime. I'm sure we all do watch anime, but there are many historical pieces like the geisha. They were entertainment women, right?
Yes.
They wear like almost powder white foundation
Yes.
and very red blush.
Hey, what's your favorite anime?
Actually, what I was referring to is Apothecary Diaries.
Ah, yes, I know that one. Yes. But aside also from the white pale skin, was from the during the English medieval times. Having shown a high forehead was the ideal look, because it also showed some nobility as well, just like the white pale skin tone.
Yes, yes.
And also to get an ideal oval faced look. Like
Oh.
oval, it's always like that.
Mm.
So to do that, women would often pluck their hairline as well, just to get just to get that ideal look. And often wore headdresses because it was unseemingly to show off even the least bit of hair. You know?
Like in Bridgerton.
Oh yes,
Are you
yes.
familiar with Bridgerton,
Yes.
guys?
I've actually saw like numerous TikTok videos like showcasing medieval women during that time, and actually as I scrolled through comments there, I learned that because the beauty standards of during that time, during that era, was having a like high forehead.
Yes.
But when we actually look at it now, haven't the trends changed?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Pale skin doesn't automatically mean you're someone of high status, and having no hairline isn't considered standard or expected. Like, are you guys familiar with the Kylie Jenner 2016 makeup look?
Yes. Yes.
The full coverage foundation that doesn't match your shade, the bold eyeshadows, and the very monoblock eyebrows.
Yes.
Everything at that time was very structured and very intense. But actually, if you compare that to today's makeup, it's actually very different. It's completely different. Because now we see the rise of clean girl aesthetic with slick back hair, glowing skin, and very minimal makeup, or the whole makeup, no makeup look. And it's interesting because both of these were considered ideal at some point in time.
So now I would like to ask you a question. Like I will give you the chance to describe yourself, okay? So if you could describe yourself, are you a clean girl, a minimalist girl, or a soft girl?
For me, if I could describe myself, I would be a clean girl because for the makeup, I like to keep things neat, especially when I go to school, like super simple blush, and also like to my things super simple and neat also.
Yes, yes. So how about you, Angela?
If I base it on my usual outfits, I'd say I'm more of a minimalist girl.
Yes, yes.
How about for me, I think it depends on my mood and energy at that time, because there's some days that I can't really handle a clean girl aesthetic because I'm just so tired and I don't really give a damn about that. So I guess I can sing a gang gang aesthetic.
Yes,
Gang,
yes.
gang.
I can truly resonate with you because beautifying yourself takes a lot of effort, right? So
Sometimes it's just so haggard
yeah,
when you
yeah.
go to school, and it's
Yeah.
just so tiring to
Yeah.
even we feel sometimes to take care of ourselves
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of our many responsibilities.
Yes.
So I think that this really shows that beauty is not fixed. It shows that it is something that is shaped and influenced over time. And actually, one of its biggest influencers is media. Because as we know, from televisions to ads and many social media platforms, these spaces continuously present images of what is considered beautiful.
Yes.
And because we are constantly scrolling through these images, constantly scrolling through TikTok, liking posts on IG, and sharing images on Facebook, we unknowingly start to internalize them. Have you ever experienced something like that, Rachel?
Yes, yes, because I remember when I first download TikTok, it was just full of dance trend videos and lip sync videos together with funny filters. And then now I could actually see that it has evolved, wherein many women will beautify themselves, would wear makeup, various makeup, and then wear filters just to look good. And actually, it's not a bad thing. But now I could really see that it has evolved and it has now changed. So, what was once deemed as a platform that is just used for entertainment, for fun, has now been transformed into a sort of like a beautifying platform, like wherein you could actually use filters and showcase like somewhat like an unreal version of yourself. So yeah.
It's like that we don't even question what we see
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
We just start to internalize and accept them
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
feel like that, oh, we should look like that too.
Yes, yes.
And this really makes us wonder that beauty is not fixed and it is dynamic, right? And it
Yes.
changes over time.
Yes.
And we ponder to the question like, are these standards actually natural, or are they constructed by the media that we consume every single day?
It's actually really interesting to think that how beauty standards didn't always come from our phones, because you know that there was a time when what we considered beautiful was mostly decided by us or for us. Like before social media, like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram took over, it was mainly about televisions, the big billboards of artistas that we see on the highways,
Yes.
those kinds of media.
Yes,
Because
yes,
if you think about it, before we didn't have phones, like as a child, we didn't have social media yet, we would only really see celebrities, models, and brand endorsements from TV advertisements, right?
Yes,
Or
yes,
TV
yes,
shows.
Yes.
So, like, I see it as that the idea of beauty before was kind of centralized
Yes.
and controlled by a few industries. But everything changed when social media became the main space where people see content. Because, like I mentioned before, we would only see celebrities like Ann Curtis mostly on TVs, like on
yes.
Showtime, diba? But now, platforms like Instagram and TikTok became the new stage for beauty standards.
Yeah.
Before, beauty was mostly dictated again by celebrities, brands, and media companies. It was controlled by them.
Yes, yes.
It was top down, like they disseminate the information and from the top, then we get it when it is disseminated through TVs and shows.
Yeah.
We're shown that beauty was we're shown that beauty and we just consumed it. Now it's more like everyone can participate, whether it be influencers, content creators, and even ordinary users can shape what's considered attractive. Like even us, we all of us have TikTok, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can all post what we want, and we can even influence unknowingly other people when they scroll past our content. Not only TikTok, but also in Instagram or in Facebook. One viral video or trend can suddenly influence how people dress, do their makeup, or even how they edit their photos. Do you guys believe that?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, when a video goes viral, and yes, it is expected that many people or many content creators will actually do that also, just so that they can also do that content and make benefits out of it.
So for my experience, actually, when I was like bored, I searched some makeup inspiration, and I will just like do the same as the influencers do it. So I believe that some influencers really inspire us to do some that kind of look, and it really like influence us, especially.
Actually, there one viral video or trend that I can remember is the bebo trend.
Yes.
Yes. Other than the bebot, do you guys remember the
Yes. Hello, Chika.
Yeah, that one. So yeah, from all the given examples that you've given and what the contents that you've encountered, it sounds more democratic at first, right? Like everyone has a voice now. But at the same time, if you think about it, it also means beauty standards spread faster and changes more quickly.
To add to that, remember the like I mentioned, the bebot.
Yeah.
Kika, if you scroll to TikTok right now, 2 months ago it would be the only thing you mostly see in your FYP, right? Many content creators.
Yes.
But now, it's when you scroll right now, you don't see anymore. You don't see it
Yes.
anymore. So like it's proof that trends and videos that were famous can actually change over time.
Yes.
They won't be that relevant right now.
So yeah. So instead of one fixed standard, we now have multiple trends happening at the same time, right? And they shift constantly.
So I have a question. What's on your For You page right now? Basing on that.
Mostly for me is, diba, today is May 1. So actually, my FYP is all about wake up. It's the first of the month. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Happy Labor Day, guys.
Yeah.
For me, uh, the makeup trends that I see most in my phone is the Korean makeup, the agisal and the very juicy lips and pale blush.
So my For You page mostly is like more on the dance trend and more on mukbangs because I like to watch mukbang, especially when I'm bored, and also the algorithm takes it a lot in my For You page.
Yes.
And I feel like because the content that we see comes from ordinary people, it feels more relatable. Like also feels more personal to us. Like you're not just comparing yourself to celebrities. You're comparing yourself to people your age, your classmates, and your mutuals online. So instead of beauty being something distant and curated, it's now something we see from every day, from our everyday people who feels just like us. And I feel like that's what makes the influence feel stronger and harder to ignore.
Yes, true.
Because if you think about it, beauty standards in the Philippines didn't even start online.
It didn't.
Yes, actually, they've been evolving for a long time. They are shaped by our history, our culture, and our media.
Yes.
Because if we go way, way back, way before colonization, beauty in early Filipino communities was actually very much more diverse compared to what we have right now.
Yes.
There wasn't just one ideal look, and physical appearances wasn't judged the same way we do now. In some accounts, even body art like tattoos. Are you guys familiar with tattoos?
Yes.
Back then had deeper meaning. Are you familiar with Maui in Moana, right?
Yes.
Maui had many tattoos, right, all
Yes,
over his
yes,
body,
yes.
and in the movie it showed that it symbolized his achievements, like
Yes.
pulling down the sun for the
Yes,
earth.
yes.
Well, groups like the Pintados in the Visayas were known for their heavily tattooed bodies, so much that the Spanish colonizers called the Pintados painted people. But those tattoos, like Maui, weren't just for looks. They showed their bravery, achievements in battle, and their social status. So we can say that beauty back then wasn't just about their appearances. It was about their identity and what they have actually done and contributed. So in a way, beauty was more personal and cultural, not standardized like today.
Yes.
I see.
So actually, hearing all of that information, it actually inculcated a sense of like reflection and realization within me. Like, do you guys, do you guys feel it
I
too?
feel the same way.
Yeah, like how our perspectives are changed or shifted, are influenced because of such society standard. Yeah.
But actually, it was due to the arriving. It was due to the arriving of the colonizers.
Yes.
Like what we hear from our Aralin Panlipunan lessons. I hope you guys listen to your teachers.
Yes.
Because when the Spanish and the Americans arrived, they didn't just influence our politics. They also influenced how Filipinos viewed themselves. Because a lot of studies show that during the Spanish colonial period, a racial hierarchy was introduced. I guess that during our grade 10, our grade 10 was the no limit language time in the Filipino, right? We were taught that lighter skin and European features like having a tall nose bridge and blue eyes were linked to higher status and privilege. And back then, native Filipinos were called Indios, right?
Yes.
Mga Indio!
Yeah.
Like, it's a term we're all familiar with. The Spanish treated them as lower in the social order, and which reinforced the idea of being lesser. Over time, the system actually influenced the way people started to associate that term with beauty. This triggered the Filipino mindset that Moreno and Morena skin is called inferior or pangit.
Yes.
As beauty started becoming linked to the social class, the lighter your skin, the more you were seen as better or more beautiful and even desirable.
Yes.
And that I can see that mindset didn't even disappear. It just evolved. Like we can see that in TikTok, chinitas and chinitos are mostly preferred, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, what's your
Yes.
type? Nga, oh, chinita.
Yes,
Chinito.
chinito. Like, Lord, where is my chinito? Where is the
Chinita,
chinito
short hair,
naman?
girl with glasses.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Even today, research shows that European features like fair skin, tall nose, and slim body types are often associated with attractiveness in Filipino media and perception. We can relate that to when we see. Are you familiar with Charlie?
Charlie
Fleming.
Sa
Charlie
PBB.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
We can agree, right, that she has more of a European features.
Yes, she is beautiful. Like,
She have the model feature.
model
yes.
vibe. I see that it's often associated with attractiveness in the Filipinos' perception of beauty, because in TikTok, when we go to her profile, there are many comments referring to, wow, guapa kay ka, like that, right?
Yes.
Especially when she was in PBB, many people complimented her beauty.
Yes.
For you guys, what do you think is an attractive person?
For me, it doesn't really matter what is their physical appearance, but I define the attractiveness of a person in their personality, in their values, and how they perceive life as an individual.
Actually, my answer would be the same as Rachel. My type, or like, I don't based on the physical looks. I based on like their characteristics, their personality, and their matureness.
For me, I'm actually the same with you too. I don't think the concept of an attractive person for me really exists, because in physical standards, I think that it really comes from within.
Yes.
Because you can be an attractive person, but you can also really have a shitty personality.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
For me, I agree with your point of view, but if I had to point as well, I really like my dark tone, burnt to the. I won't lie, actually.
DTH, dark, tall, handsome.
Dark, tall, handsome. Oh my god.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes.
Actually, in connection to that, when the media era, like televisions, the magazines, billboards, this is where our beauty standards actually became more even standardized, because celebrities influencing celebrities like Sarah Geronimo and Ann Curtis,
Yes.
and models became the main reference for what beautiful looks like.
Yes.
Like, for example, are you guys a fan of Miss Universe?
Yes.
Do you sit in front of your TV and, hala, magsugod na!
Yes.
Or sa or mag-notes, or mag-kwan sa Facebook, hala, ako manok!
You know, the recent Miss Universe, like last year.
Yeah.
I really looked forward with Atisa Manalo.
Yes.
Like, I remember I was here, and I even bought my phone when I was like taking a bath. Yeah, because it was the finals. Like, announcing the announcement of the top 5, and it's
I
so
remember
sad to say
I
that.
think that, in elementary, sa una, Miss Universe, the day Miss Universe was like shown on TV, it was always on a school day.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
example, I remember in grade 2, I think it was the time when Pia back. It was so around mga 2013.
2015.
2015.
Yes, yes.
I remember in the classroom, we actually didn't have class because we watched Miss Universe on TV.
Wow.
You're so lucky. I have the
Wow.
same experience as you. We actually don't have class because our teacher watched Miss Universe and we actually like going circle around it.
Yes, when as the, diba, Pia won the Miss Universe. When it was announced na the classroom, I know the whole school was very noisy. Cheers were heard everywhere.
Yes, and that speaks a lot for our Filipino pride.
Yeah. So I guess that we can say that we can also say that pageants play a big role in our childhood and our perception of beauty, right?
Yes.
That is correct. The Philippines that is known for its competitions like Miss Universe, Miss
Yes.
Earth, and others.
In fact, it has been deemed like the powerhouse of pageant. diba? Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Do you guys know that?
No, wow.
So now you know. Now you know.
I guess that why we are considered the powerhouse of pageants.
Yes.
It has over time reinforced a very specific beauty image. It reinforces very glamorous, very polished, and often leaning toward a pageant look
Yes.
that people associate with mestiza or more Eurocentric styling or beauty.
Yes.
Even contestants like Atisa Manalo are often represented in media with a kind of refined international look, which shows how certain standards get highlighted in pageantry.
Yes. Yes.
So,
So instead of many kinds of beauty, media help narrow it down into a few dominant types that keep on repeating on TV and in advertisements. And now we're in a completely different phase, diba? The social media era.
because platforms like TikTok, again, Instagram changed everything because they didn't just show celebrities anymore. They showed everyone, the ordinary people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before, again, it was top down. Brands and celebrities told you what beauty is. This is
Yes,
beautiful, this is not. And now it's decentralized. Everyone participates. Influencers, creators, and even us, the ordinary users, can shape what's trending.
Yeah.
It sounds nice at first, right? Because it's like we are on equal ground. But actually, it also creates more beauty standards, and it causes it to spread faster and change more frequently. So instead of one fixed standard, we now have multiple looks that keep rotating. So for me, I think this is really harmful for us because when a new trend goes trending again and it keeps circulating more and more trends keeps getting famous, I think that it promotes harmful standards because you didn't even reach this new standard, now there's another one, so I think it
keeps on piling up.
it keeps on piling up on ordinary people.
And it makes you more insecure.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Like because of this, many people are now insecure about parts that they didn't even know about their body. Like I feel creates this useless. The social media creates this useless trend of new features that just bring more insecurity on people.
Yes. So, when we look at everything together, it becomes really clear that social media didn't actually create beauty standards. It just intensified them. And it made them global. So, what used to be shaped slowly over decades now change in days. Sometimes even hours, diba?
Like that's really popular trend on TikTok, right?
Yes, yes.
A new trend can be gone over the next 2
Yeah.
weeks
Yeah.
and replaced by another
There's
one.
another trend.
It just dies down as time goes by.
And then sometimes it even surfaces back.
Yeah.
It would only die down again. So maybe the real question isn't just how beauty standards change, but whether they really changed at all, or if they just got repackaged into new platforms. And if we should also question if Filipino beauty standards today are still shaped by the colonial ideas that got stuck into our brains just in more modern forms. Like for example, again, Korean beauty influence. We are due to because K-dramas are now more famous right now.
Yeah.
We idolize the idea of having white pale skin.
And clear skin.
Yes,
glass
clear
skin.
skin. And taller nose bridge. So you see, over time, this behavior can really shape how we see our identities. It starts to feel like who we are is mostly about how we look or even how we present ourselves online. Like, what's our aesthetic or what's our vibe, diba? Are you
Yeah,
clean
yeah.
girl? Are you soft girl? Are you a
Yeah.
maximalist?
Yes,
A
yes.
minimalist? Diba? And there's this realization that boom, suddenly identity becomes something visual.
Yes.
But the problem is our identity is something supposed to be something deeper than that. It should be about our values, our experiences, and most importantly, our personality. But actually, when everything becomes focused on our appearances again, our real self, our authenticity, slowly gets lost. And instead of being ourselves, we start trying to fit into a certain image that we know deep down isn't what we truly are or what we truly believed in.
So overall, we can say that social media didn't just create these standards. It intensified and globalized it. Now, let's move on to the social media algorithm. So, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever noticed that when you like or watch a certain type of content, like skincare routines, glow ups, or body transformations, you suddenly start seeing more and more of the same thing?
From what I mentioned earlier, the mukbang
Yes,
thing,
yes.
the mukbang thing keep popping on my For You page because of the algorithm.
Actually, when the Bebo trend was trending, I actually wanted to participate in it. No,
You posted?
no, I kept in my drafts.
Ah.
Actually, diba, you have to search for it. So I searched for it, Bebo trend tutorial.
Yeah.
And when I was done filming my TikTok, parang I kept it in my drafts again. As I scroll down, Bebo trend naman itanan. So, yeah.
How about you?
For me, the more recent one I had to say is, you know the movie Avatar? You know the new adult them just showed up.
Ah,
Just
yes,
that week.
yes.
Which is more hot? For me, it's
Wait. If I had to say, it's the fire guy. I forgot his name already. It's Zuko, di ba?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Hot on the inside, hot on the outside. Oh my god.
So that's what you see on your algorithm.
Yes.
Yes. So
Literally, every time I scrolled, it was an edit, another edit, and then another edit.
Actually, to add, when I was, I think it was a few weeks ago, I really enjoyed jogging back then because there was no schoolwork like that much. So I would search on TikTok, jogging tips. Yes, there's something like that. Jogging tips, how to run faster without getting out of breath. And suddenly more glow up and body transformation content showed up on my feed even though I didn't search for them.
it does not align.
Yes.
So all of what you said, we can literally come up to a conclusion that that's not random. That's the algorithm working, right?
Yeah.
Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube use algorithms to study your behavior. And actually, it was discussed by Sir Peter, right?
Yes.
What you like, watch, share, or even pause on. Based on that, they decide what to show you next. So basically, what you engage with becomes what you see more of. Now, here's where it gets deeper. According to a 2024 study published by the National Library of Medicine on algorithmic beauty, the new beauty standard, social media platforms actively personalize your feed and push content that fits what they identify as beautiful.
Accurate. Oh my god.
So if you interact with content showing a certain type of face, such as clear skin, slim bodies, or specific facial features, or like perfect facial proportions, the algorithm keeps feeding you that same ideal. So have you guys experienced that?
Very much.
Yeah. And over time, this creates what researchers call a feedback loop. So let me explain it further and simply. You like one ideal beauty post, the algorithm shows you more similar posts. You keep engaging with those posts, and then your feed becomes filled with only that type of beauty. It just repeats again and again. So the cycle keeps on reiterating. So in fact, studies show that social media algorithms can create something called an echo chamber. Yes. Where users are repeatedly exposed to the same type of content and ideas. So instead of seeing diverse appearances or different beauty types, you're stuck seeing one version of beauty over and over. And the problem
Actually,
is
that I think that I have experienced that too because I can't remember, but a few years ago when I first started TikTok,
Yeah.
I first downloaded TikTok. All I kept seeing were these straight hair girls, and I started asking my mom nga, "Ma, magpariban ko be?" But she would scold me nga, "Puyo, kay pangit ka na."
so it influences you.
Yeah.
So, and that's the problem. When you see something repeatedly, your brain starts to believe it's normal or even expected, like it's just there.
And I think it contributes to the feeling of FOMO because you have a fear of missing out on what's trending or what you see.
Yeah, so you just have to join them.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's how beauty standards get reinforced. There is also evidence that even if you don't actively search for beauty content, algorithms can still push idealized images into your feed, making it hard to avoid. So for me, I've encountered a TikTok video on my FYP. I didn't search for it like beauty types of like that. So I didn't search for that. And then randomly a video of a beautiful woman just popped up into my feed. And actually after that I of course I liked the video. I interacted with it. I posted a comment that you are so beautiful, just like that. And then as I scroll down, there many like beautiful women then popped up continuously into my For You page.
I think I can relate to that because I sent my friend, gusto ko ng lipstick a message
Yes,
in
yes, yes.
TikTok. And,
Yes.
and after scrolling down a few vids, post advertisements of beauty shops suddenly started appearing full of ads, suddenly appearing on my FYP. And I'm like, that's such a coincidence.
Yeah.
I can also relate to that because there's one time I was like searching for some dance trend and I like one post and then many few days after the many dance trend pop up to my For You page.
So even if you're just casually scrolling, like just what you've said, you're still being exposed to these standards, right? So in short, the algorithm doesn't just reflect your preferences, it actually shapes them. And because of this invisible system, invisible forces, many people don't even realize that what they think is their personal taste in beauty might actually be something the algorithm trained them to see.
For me, when I was starting to learn makeup, of course, TikTok was the most convenient, right?
Yes,
yes,
Because
I can relate
it was short,
Yeah.
straight to the point,
Yeah.
and easy to
Yes.
access. So I was searching how to do eyebrows, what blush placement or what eyeshadow colors for that eye color, what lipstick shade for my skin tone, for my and what other products that are recommended by them. So I think that my personal taste and my makeup style and the products that I buy or pick is actually very heavily influenced by the content that I see on TikTok. Because for me, I really like when my eyebrows are I really like straight eyebrows because that I feel like it was the result of the content, like Korean content creators, because they mostly have straight eyebrows, right? Especially in K-pop, like Manon from Cat's Eye.
I actually have an experience because I actually see some filters like Manon Bros and I asked my friends if like bagay ba ni Sako, pero they said that I look like Opao Song. I
very
didn't do
harsh.
it anyway.
So that's good because you follow the advice. Yes.
I think it doesn't only apply to our makeup. It also applies to the way we dress or the way we cut our hair because actually, Rachel, why did you choose to get a layered haircut?
Yeah, I just perceive myself as like having a large forehead, just like that. So, yeah, and I'm actually influenced by the Korean standards also. Like the layered hair, the concept of having a wolf cut hair are their standards of hairstyles.
That's very popular in TikTok.
So it shows like how different cultures or like even social media can influence our perceptions of beauty standards. So because of that, the reason that we're constantly exposed to these ideal images, many of us begin to use filters and editing tools to match them, right?
Yes.
So we smooth out our pores, remove acne, adjust our features, trying to meet these digital standards. So do you guys have an experience of that?
I actually have an experience because when we go to cafes, I actually like post in
Yeah,
my
I see
story
your
and
stories.
IG. But before I post it in my Instagram, I like edit my face and smooth it
Wow.
because sometimes the quality is just poor. So
Actually, there was a time, I think it was very recent nga, I prefer taking selfies on TikTok camera.
Yes.
We are the same. because the filters, right?
Yeah, because in my normal phone camera, I feel like I didn't feel that much that beautiful compared to TikTok because TikTok, you can control your complexion, you can apply blush, your eyeshadows, you even edit the size of your chin, forehead, whiten your teeth.
Or even your eyes,
yeah,
your
the
under
eyes of your
eye. I can
eyes.
actually relate to that because I have like a deep under eye right now, as you can see. Yeah, I tend to adjust it to hide it because I don't want people to see my flaws. Yes. So actually, hearing all of your experiences, I'm actually quite sad that how media really has an
Effect on
an
us.
effect on us. So, but here's the truth, guys. We're not actually improving reality. We're trying to match an illusion. So, to support this, a research in the Advanced Social Science Archive journal shows that AI beauty filters can increase perceived attractiveness in the short term. But at the same time, they negatively affect self-esteem and overall mental well-being. So, when we used filters on TikTok or even Instagram, we get the sense of contentment of like an achievement, like, oh, I am so beautiful, like I look so hot
I
in
feel
here.
so pretty
Yeah,
here.
yeah, like I should post this. But over time, as we look on ourselves, as we reflect on it, we can actually say that we are insecure, diba? Like our confidence, like we will then compare ourselves that I do not look like that in person, in reality, diba?
Let's use Instagram for example. You know the Instagram has new features, right, where you can add AI effects, diba? Where you like in Magify the flash filter, the green one.
Yes.
I actually tried that one, but it turns out like it changes your face.
Yeah, it adds makeup or even like smoothes your face. And I noticed that when I saw it on TikTok, so that's why I'm telling you here. It was trending. It had gone trending, and when people plug in their picture and the result is diba, it has a flash effect, but it doesn't only add flash like a disposable camera effect. It also edits your face, and I noticed that people's lips were redder and they had a smaller face and bigger eyes.
And also smooth skin.
Yeah. So for me, the before photos actually okay, they were beautiful, but I guess that people with the standards right now and with the rise of AI, they feel the need to do the same and apply it to their own pictures and personal photos.
So, while filters may make us feel more confident for a moment, they can actually make us feel worse about our real appearance over time. So, in fact, another study by Su et al. In 2023 found that using beauty filters is associated with lower body satisfaction and poorer self-image. This means that the more we rely on filters, the more likely we are to feel dissatisfied with how we actually look. And it goes even deeper. The findings also show that beauty filters create unrealistic beauty standards and are linked to lower appearance, self-esteem, and increased fear of negative evaluation.
Actually, I have another experience to that. In pandemic, di ba, we can't go outside that much because it was prohibited to the, what do you call it?
COVID-19.
Yeah, the isolation. Because it was, yeah, it was
Lockdown.
yeah,
Era.
lockdown, because we had lockdown, so you weren't allowed to go outside. So as I was cooped up in my house, I downloaded TikTok, and I loved the filters there. So I would post on my stories with the yellow filters nga, yellow siya tapos i-blue, the trending filter in COVID time.
Ah, okay.
Maybe you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't remember that
But
one.
I really liked posting my stories with that filter, but in real life I was actually afraid. In the few chances that we can go out like that, when you had to get your COVID vaccine, I had been cooped out in my house in a very long time at that point. So though I was very confident in posting stories with filters online in my IG and in Facebook, I was actually in real life very afraid, and I guess you can say insecure about the way I looked when it was time to go outside. I guess the filters, since I can't take them in real life, right? It really took a hit on my self-esteem. So I was very thankful at that time when you could wear a mask and wear a face shield.
So this actually leads us to a notion that instead of helping us feel better, filters can actually increase insecurity. This leads to something important like the normalization of altered appearances, because so many people use filters, edited images, and then it starts to feel normal even if they're not real. And because of that, people don't compare themselves to reality anymore. They compare themselves to edited versions of reality, just like your experience. So, and 2025 also, a study found that people even compare their real self to their filtered self, a process called social self-comparison, like what I have stated earlier, that you start to compare yourself. And this can increase body dissatisfaction, self-objectification, and even the desire to change one's appearances. So in the end, filters don't just change how we look online, they slowly change how we see ourselves in real life.
I think it's because when you use filters, it's much more quicker. It's like what do you call shortcut? It's a shortcut to what we truly want ourselves to look, what we truly want ourselves to feel like. So when you use filters, we get that sense of satisfaction that oh, I'm so pretty. But when we actually don't put filters and just in real life, we feel like insecure and disappointed that, like you said, we compare ourselves to the edited version of ourselves.
Yes.
So I think it really takes a toll on the way how people perceive themselves and even others, because you can say nga, hala, di mo na siya nana in real life. Nga, when nga puti mo ka na siya sa story, nga na pag-abot din kay lagom kaayo.
Yes. So, because of these platforms, of social media platforms, we can say that beauty is not actually fixed. It's driven by trends like that. You've probably seen trends like that girl,
It girl.
yeah, clean girl aesthetic, glass skin, like that. Like what we have mentioned, clear skin, minimal makeup, effortless beauty. But here's the thing: these trends don't last, and they change fast. So social media constantly introduces new beauty ideals, which increases pressure to meet ever-changing standards. So instead of one stable definition of beauty, people are expected to keep adjusting themselves again and again. And because of that, the pressure doesn't just stay, it builds. So studies also found that frequent exposure to appearance focused content on social media is linked to body dissatisfaction and a desire to conform to trending ideals. So when you constantly see these trends, it starts to feel like you need to follow them just to fit in. And what makes this even more powerful is virality, When something goes viral, millions of people see it at the same time. So according to research, viral trends amplify social comparison because users are exposed at the same idealized images repeatedly and at a large scale. So the involved here are not just one or two people. You feel like everyone is following the same standards. And that creates this mindset. If everyone looks like this, then I should too, right? Just like the Bibo trend that you've tried. And so instead of beauty being something personal, it becomes something collective and competitive. That's why trends and virality don't just influence beauty. They create a fast-moving systems where people feel constant pressure to keep up with standards that never stay the same. Right?
Actually, Dove actually conducted a study in 2017 where they reported 67% of girls and 67% of girls and women say that they rarely see the women. They see the people like girls and men, women they see on TV. They don't see them that much in real life. So I think that from that statistic, we can say that representation actually really matters, and that's why when we see someone that doesn't have the same body type as us or the same features, we start to compare them to ourselves.
Yes.
And also these days, influencers have kind of become our modern beauty standards, right?
Yes.
Like before, people would look up to celebrities or maybe beauty magazines for advice.
Yes.
But now it's influencers on TikTok or Instagram telling us what product to use, what routines to follow, and even what is considered beautiful. And the thing is that we trust them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they feel relatable, like parang they're just like us, diba? They talk casually, they share experiences, and it feels more like compared to traditional ads, but therewith it gets a bit tricky. A lot of the content we see actually are sponsored. What we see on Instagram, on TikTok are actually paid promotion. And even if it doesn't feel like it or the product is not effective at all, they actually expected to promote the product in a positive way, right?
Yes.
So I have one experience when I need some concealer. So I search on the TikTok. Then I see one influencer and she's super like convincing. She said that it's easy to blend, it's have like good coverage. But when I tried the product, it's actually kind of drying. So I realized that the influencer really shaped or really convinced me into buying that kind of product. So it's it relates to that it's super obvious that some brands paying them to promote on something. So it comes off a genuine recommendation. So when reality, there's marketing behind it.
Yes.
And because of that, it blurs the line between what's the authentic and what's actually an ad. And I'm not actually biased, but some influencers are actually good. They're actually genuine. They actually have an honest reviews. But some of them are actually not. And they're for the money. And which leads us to the idea of the boodle content.
Yes.
So, you know, when you're just casually scrolling and then you see a product and then you're not actually planning to spend a money, but then again, few minutes later it's already in your cart, so you've already experienced that, right?
Actually, I have many experiences with that because I'm on TikTok quite a lot of the time, and I'm just scrolling and I see an ad about, like you said, concealer, when in fact I already had concealer. I see another ad about blush when I have many blushes now, but after a few minutes later they're still on my mind, so I search on TikTok shop and boom, they're already in my cart.
Yes.
So that's actually what we call boodle. So influencers makes it looks good, so effective, and sometimes they even said that this product will change your life, and it's super convincing, right?
Yes.
Like it makes you feel that you really need that kind of product. And it makes us question like, wait, bakit wala ako nito? And I should try this one
Yeah.
too. And before you know it, it's already in your cart.
Yeah.
And it's not always a bad thing, but it does show how powerful influencers are shaping in our choices or what we choose to buy, what we choose to add to our cart. And especially when it comes to the beauty product, especially skincare.
Yeah.
And influencer culture isn't just about trends, it actually affects how we see ourselves, what we think we need, and what we end up buying. So, I have a question for you guys. What are your recent Budo thing?
Makeup products. Like,
So for me, I bought a bleaching scrub.
For what?
Because I saw that many influencers like, oh, try this, it will get rid of discoloration. But when I actually tried it, it didn't do anything. So I think it just promotes the idea of consumerism and leads
Yes.
to
overconsumption.
But it's
overconsumption.
actually harmful if like it doesn't fit to your skin.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
yes.
actually causes
Be
many
careful.
allergies
Yeah.
We should be careful.
if you have especially sensitive skin.
Yes, yes.
You.
I actually remember one where I bought a lip tint.
Mm.
When I tried, and then after I tried it at home, it was like, it hurt my
Super
lips.
drying, right?
And yeah, it was dry, but it also like,
It was kind of itchy.
so I never really tried it now. There were like 3 of them.
Wow.
I never used it again.
Oh my gosh.
And if you scroll through TikTok or Instagram, you'll notice how local influencers promote whitening products, slimming teas, and
Yes.
some skincare routines, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
it's
yes.
very common, like the gluta drinks, the
Yes.
brightening lotion, the products that promise to a
Actually,
slimmer.
probably that was the type of content that influenced me to buy the bleaching scrub.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, I see some content that kind of gummy.
Oh
Gummy
yeah,
bears.
gummy bears.
It's like a food supplement that helps you lose your weight.
And also like adjust your something skin.
Oh, there's even some that promises to whiten your skin, like gluta gummy
Yeah.
bears like that.
Yeah.
At first, it's just like a normal like beauty content, right? It feels like helpful to us, but when you look closer to it, it also sends us a subtle messages. When whitening products are constantly promoted, it can reinforce the idea that lighter skin is more desirable and they are more the standard beauty. Like when slimming products are everywhere, it suggests that being thinner is the ideal body type, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, this message aren't always direct, but because we keep seeing them over and over our feed, they start to think or they start to shape what actually beautiful for us.
Yes.
I think this really makes us question. I will bring the question again that what if these beauty standards are actually still colonial standards? They are just repackaged into modern trends.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because as you said, I can see that even before there was social media and there was no such thing as TikTok shop and influencers, even before papaya whitening soaps
Yes.
like 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐿 and 𝐬𝐿AX.
Yeah.
𝐬𝐿AX, right?
Hindi nakagayaku right now.
They promoted whitening products as well, and I feel like these standards already exist because of the because we still have colonial mentality.
And you're right, these beauty standards already still exist in the Philippine context. Influencer content can quietly reinforce them even more, and it's not just about selling products. It's also about how people see beauty and themselves.
Yes.
And
that's actually true.
it gets to us in a question like, if these standards are constantly surrounding us, what does how that do to how we see ourselves?
Yes. And that's actually right. So isn't it sad like how influencers or even business owners that generates beauty products are actually taking advantage of our insecurities? Yes, that leads us to buy their products.
I actually see some one business owner. Like it's like a concealer in the underarm. And actually, do you see those? Did you see those? Girl that is in a rally.
Ah, yes.
She actually stitched that video and then she promote that kind of product and actually kind of like offensive.
Yeah, truly.
Relating to that picture, diba, that girl had body hair and
Yeah.
underarm.
Yes.
And many people actually stitched and recommended a cream the hair removal cream. And
And
actually,
actually
that's so unnecessary.
The comment section is super toxic because they're actually
right.
kind of cyberbullying.
Yeah. So, after everything we've discussed, algorithms, filters, and trends, or like the boodle, this is where it really becomes serious because social media doesn't just shape what we see, it starts to shape how we feel, think, and define ourselves. In short, it changes something that is within us, especially our mental health.
Yes.
So here comes the comparison culture. It is one of the strongest psychological effects of social media. When we scroll, we usually see perfect photos, clear skin, ideal bodies, and curated lifestyle. But what we often forget is this. We're not seeing what we're seeing is not the reality. We're seeing a highlight reel. So, do you guys have an experience wherein you compare yourselves to the
Influencers.
Yes.
Actually, I have seen before that there are many influencers that receive comments nga, well, how is your skin so clear? Skincare recommendations, please, or skincare reveal. But then they actually say that they reveal some photos in a slideshow in TikTok that they don't actually have clear skin. They actually have pimple marks, they have blackheads, and they have scars. But they show it honestly. They promote honesty in their content. They show.
They promote their flaws? Is that
No, they don't promote their flaws, but they are honest about their flaws, that they are not perfect. They don't have perfect skin.
So they show what is their real appearance.
Their skin texture.
Okay, so as supported by a research by Marika Tijiman, exposure to idealized images on platforms like Instagram can significantly affect how people evaluate their own bodies. Her study found that viewing idealized social media images increases body dissatisfaction compared to more realistic images. And actually, I have a personal experience of this in Instagram, diba? Especially now that it is summertime, wherein many people are
Wearing bikini.
Yes, and you cannot help but compare yourself like, I wish I had that kind of body, right? And when you actually start to post, like when you decide to post your story, like your whole body, you start to feel like
It's
awkward.
self-conscious.
You're starting to be conscious with your body, yourself. And the findings of her study found that viewing idealized social media images increases body satisfaction, right? And it's not just one study. A large meta-analysis published in Body Image Journal found that appearance-focused social media content has a negative impact on body image over time. Even more recent research shows that the more people engage in social comparison online, the higher their body dissatisfaction and related concerns become. So what's happening here? We can ask that, right? We compare our real everyday selves, our real appearances to someone else edited, curated version. And slowly, we begin to judge ourselves using standards that aren't even realistic. Instead of asking, am I okay? We start asking, why don't I look like them? Why am I not like them? Why is my body not like them? Why is my physical appearance not like them?
We see this in many comment sections, like for example in TikTok. For example, no, it's not an example, it's a real life thing. When the skinny girl posts, then the comments are all about, I'm not going to eat anymore.
Yeah.
How do you get so skinny? Like that. the people who comment compare themselves to the creator, but they don't actually know but there might be actually something that the creator is going through. Like, for example, the content creator might have an eating disorder, and the people don't know that, and they're comparing, and they're asking themselves, why don't I look like them? Why am I so fat? When actually the creator has something going on behind the scenes.
And that's actually relatable. Like, you don't want to eat anymore because of that. So now let's go deeper, because comparison doesn't just affect how we feel, it affects how we see our worth on social media. Validation is visible. Likes, comments, shares, or even reposts.
Yes.
They become numbers we can measure. We measure. And because of that, many people begin to connect their self-worth to these reactions. And again, a study by National Library of Medicine stated that people who engage in selective self-presentation, carefully choosing and editing photos to gain approval from others. So like a social media validation. But here's the effect. When validation becomes external, self-esteem becomes unstable. And that is actually true, right?
Actually, I have another experience with that.
Yes.
When I post my story on Facebook, some photos of when I post selfies on Facebook, some stories would get like 100 reactions, and then when I post again on another day, they only have 50 or 80 reactions. So I then ask myself, hello, ano gamay naman nag-react? I started
So
I actually experienced that one because when I post in like my story in Instagram, I actually check the heart, how many people hearted my post.
yes, and I actually resonate with all of you guys, because on my recent post on my Instagram, like I tend to measure what if I look that good, based on the number of likes, the comments, and the reposts.
same, because I feel like the higher the likes, the more satisfaction
Yeah.
we get. So when we receive likes that we don't normally expect or are lower than what we normally get, we start to question ourselves. What did I do wrong? Did I get uglier?
Yes. So, in addition to that, psychological studies consistently link appearance-focused social media use with lower self-esteem, increased anxiety, higher self-objectification. And experts explain that this leads to something called self-objectification, where people begin to see themselves as an image to be judged rather than a person. And over time, identity starts to shift. Instead of asking, who am I? The question becomes, how do I look to others? Diba? Like, do they see me as someone beautiful? Do they see me as someone fit to their standards? Slim body, beautiful appearance, like that. So, yeah.
So I think these experiences can actually arise to much more serious issues like body image issues, and in more serious cases, this can go on to be pressures that we connect to our psychology.
This is also actually called the body dysmorphic disorder, or what they call our BDD. It's actually a mental health condition where a person becomes incredibly focused on your flaws. You know, this is actually based on as a research from what I did. These flaws aren't usually even that noticeable. Like how you see that, oh my gosh, these pores are in my face, but sometimes people don't notice that as much. Because of this, some people may seek cosmetic procedures to fix these imperfections. In fact, some studies suggest that around 10 to 15% of people pursuing cosmetics treatments may show signs of BDD. They're very conscious of what they look like. And as stated by Dr. Jason Oates, he's a leading plastic surgeon, puts it, that if cosmetic surgeons removed every patient with certain personal concerns, they would have no patients. So,
It's actually right.
so what do you think? Is it that believable that the majority seem to have concerns of their bodies?
And actually, yes. Like, just like Andrea Brillantes, right?
Yeah.
Years ago, she has a like chubby figure, diba? And it's not bad. It's not bad, and it does not lessen her value as an artist or as a person. But now we've actually observed a massive change within her, right? Within her appearances. She now have a Barbie arms, and her body is now slim.
Media people also speculate that she had work done on her face, on her nose, and she got fillers. And
Yes.
also, I think that what you said also contributes to a number, not only to celebrities but also to ordinary people.
Yes.
I feel like those situations contribute to eating disorders in our communities.
Yeah, body disorder.
Many people feel the need to not eat anymore, or to willingly to make themselves throw up, to get more skinnier, because they see influencers, content creators that have these perfect body types.
I actually watched a video or clip, but I don't really remember who that is. But it's a Miss Universe candidate, or more like a candidate in the Philippines. One host actually asked her if what's his like be gonna fit something exercise, but actually she shares that when she eats, immediately after that she throws up all the food.
A pageant contestant.
Yeah.
Well, back to cosmetic procedures. Sometimes even these procedures do not meet this guaranteed satisfaction, but instead this enforces more insecurity amongst young adults, because often these are young adults actually that do these cosmetic surgeries. But of course, surgeons don't allow that, because sometimes it's just for personal concerns, or either they're too young, diba? Would you allow, if you were a parent, would you allow your child to undergo this?
No.
Diba?
Because there's actually some cases where, for example, where you have a big nose, but you feel that it's very big for your face at a young age. But when you actually grow up, you actually grow into your features.
Actually change.
Yes. So now we have observed that these psychological effects happen globally. They become even more complex when we look at them in a Filipino context. Because for us, beauty standards didn't just come from social media. They were already here before social media. Like in our family. One example is the idea that maputi equals maganda. Matangos ilong equals maganda. Mestiza equals maganda. So for many years, lighter skin has been perceived and associated with beauty, success, and even social status in the Philippines. This belief is not random. According to research by A.G.R. David, this preference is linked to colonial mentality, diba? A psychological effect of colonization where people internalize foreign standards and view them as superior. His studies show that colonial mentality is associated with lower self-esteem and a preference of Eurocentric features, including lighter skin. And we still see this today in advertisements, in beauty products, and even in everyday conversations. So like, do you have an experience wherein your family states like, tumaba ka, na
Yeah, I actually
umitim ka,
experienced that
mas
one.
maganda ka dati.
And actually compared them to my old self. And that's really kind of offensive.
And actually, that's so sad because what we treat as our family, our safe haven, is now like the number one reason, the number one factor to judge us, and the reason of our low self-esteem.
Yeah.
So, like either if the reason is it sounds normal or they're just joking, it doesn't justify the fact that they have already instilled a big sense of insecurity within yourself.
They're like
They-
pointing out your flaws.
Yeah, they have already reinforced the idea that our appearance is something that should always be evaluated.
And you start to be becoming more conscious
Yes,
of your body.
yes. So, in addition to that, research on Filipino body image shows that family and social environments play a strong role in shaping self-perception and appearance concerns. So, yeah. So, just like what you have experienced, this totally resonate with the research. So, even before social media, these standards already existed. But now, social media amplifies them. Instead of hearing these comments occasionally, we now see thousands of images every day that reinforce the same message, that lighter skin, clearer skin, and certain features are more desirable. So social media intensifies existing cultural beauty standards by repeatedly exposing users to idealized images. So the pressure doesn't just stay the same. It becomes stronger, more frequent, and harder to ignore. So now, I want to leave you with two questions. Why do we compare ourselves to people we already know are edited? And second, is validation online becoming more important than real life confidence? So that depends if you guys have an answer for that. So, as we have talked so far about the negative effects of social media, we will now move on to its positive impact. So, social media is a double-edged sword.
Yes.
But to be fair, it's not all harmful. There are also positive shifts happening. Spaces where people are starting to challenge traditional beauty standards, right? Like, but how the representation and diversity are starting to shift right now. We're seeing more diverse representation of beauty, especially online.
Actually, on TikTok, there's actually one big change in a growing visibility of Morena beauty because of social media and the rise of Morena influencers. Before, mainstream media, right, was mostly about getting lighter skin or being a light-skinned person. But now, many Morena content creators and celebrities are gaining attention and appreciation. For example, our most influential, Catherine Bernardo, is an advocate for natural brown skin, and Nadine Lustre, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And even TV host Bianca Gonzalez.
And also Shuvi from the PBB.
Yes, oo. And this shift is really being driven by social media. Some influencers are also building audiences confidence by embracing their flaws or their natural body types or skin tones.
Well, people are starting to relate more to creators who actually look like them.
Yes.
You know? Because
Yes.
we also have our plus size and body diversity. It's not just the skin tone anymore. There's also the visibility for plus size creators.
Yes.
And that's very important because traditional media often pushes one's body type, the toned, a very specific proportions, showing that women are often portrayed in ways that emphasize idealized bodies and lifestyles. Of course, this reinforces the narrow beauty standards.
So when plus-size creators show up confidently online, they challenge those long-standing expectations,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, social media provides a platform for those plus size creators who are, I guess, put down for their body type. They allow them to speak up for their challenges they experience, and humiliation that they get when they are shamed. They allow them to speak up to, for example, brands to make more plus size clothes and make it more plus size friendly.
Yes. And another big trend right now is the rise of acne positive content,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, yes.
Instead of hiding imperfections, creators are now more open to sharing their skin journeys. Have you ever seen one?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
For example, do you know, they're a foreign couple, but do you know Fernanda? A Latina girl with, and his boyfriend is,
Sebastian.
yes!
The famous dancer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fernanda is very honest about her
Yeah.
acne, right?
Okay.
She is very positive. She doesn't hide her acne, and in fact, when she creates makeup tutorials, she gives tips on how to take care of to make your makeup okay with acne. And I know she doesn't actually use makeup to hide her acne, but instead she kind of like uses it to bring awareness to the people about how with skin types.
Did you know that in research on Filipino, social media shows that dermatology-related content like acne, as I said, is widely shared, of course, and influence how people understand and will treat their skin later on. And that's great, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
it normalizes the real skin instead of promoting unrealistic perfection.
Yes.
Actually, there are many content creators on TikTok that their whole brand is about recommending cheap and affordable
Yes.
skincare products to their audiences. They create content like skincare recommendations for people with student budgets, or they they tell the people that they have a promo code to help them afford skincare products, because normally skincare products are very expensive.
Yes.
I noticed that when I
Yes.
started buying skincare first. Like, wow, they have a very small amount of product, but they are very expensive, like 300 plus.
So overall, what we're saying is a break from the traditional mestiza, flawless, and slim standards.
Yeah.
And exactly, because media is no longer just top-down, where TV dictates beauty. Now it's more interactive, shaped by everyday people. And that changes everything, because instead of one standard, we now have multiple definitions of beauty. It's not yet perfect, but those old standards still exist. But there's definitely more space now for diversity.
Yes.
And one of the biggest movements we see online today is body positivity and
Yes.
skin positivity, right? These movements encourage people to accept their natural appearances, including things that used to be hidden, like acne, stretch marks, scars, or uneven skin. Instead of treating this as flaws, they are being reframed as normal human features. And actually, it's not a bad thing because it's what defines us as humans.
Yes, because actually they are normal.
Yeah.
Because due to social media, we are framed to think that getting acne is dirty. You are a dirty person because you have acne, but no, it is a normal human body reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
If you are stressed, or literally even if you are going through puberty, you get pimples and you get acne.
It's normal. And research shows that exposure to body positive content on social media can have beneficial effects. For example, studies found that viewing body positive posts is associated with improved body satisfaction and mood compared to idealized images. This has been supported by research from Marika Tijuman, who found that body positive imagery can reduce negative self-comparison. And similarly, the American Psychological Association reports that diverse and realistic presentations of bodies can help improve self-esteem and reduce harmful comparison. So in this way, social media can also be a space for healing and not just pressure. But here's where we need to think critically. Some researchers argue that body positivity is sometimes commercialized or turned into a trend, right?
Yeah.
Especially when brands or influencers use it for engagement rather than genuine advocacy.
Oh, I actually remember one. I think I saw it was on a blog of the 2019 Victoria's Secret model show. Do you remember? Do you know that?
Yeah. There was a not a plus size, but not fat, but a plus size model walking down the runway, right?
Yes, they say that it's a plus size model, but viewers still see them as somehow still fit. They tried to let's say the word, put the beauty standard again, because they say this is the standard plus size when in reality it's not. It's still a slim woman.
Oh yes, actually, I seen that in TikTok when the Victoria's Secret model who walked the runway, right? She was actually not plus size because she was just a let's say a chubby woman. She was not plus size, and I think it's very harmful that these brands try to dictate that this is a plus size, because if that woman was a plus size, then what do you call others?
Yeah.
It gives us this image that this is the plus size. So if she's plus size, then what am I? So it gives a harmful limitation.
I actually see one on TikTok. It's actually kind of a modeling, and it's actually a male. And compared to those male model, he's actually kind of more bulky type. And actually, some comments are actually mixed. There are some negative and some are positive, and some negative like nganong ni join man na siya diya, and the positive comments are like they are inspired to be to show their body because of him.
Though we appreciate their advocacy, their thought of showcasing body positivity like that, we cannot help but question, is body positivity always empowering, or is it sometimes just another aesthetic to follow? So, moving on, another positive aspect of social media is the sense of community and support. Online platforms can create safe spaces where people express themselves freely, their identity, their appearance, their experiences. For many, especially young people, these spaces provide support and that they may not always find offline. So research shows that online communities can strengthen identity formation and provide emotional support, especially for individuals exploring self-image and belonging.
I think I can say that this was very prevalent in the pandemic era, where people were isolated in their own homes, so since they can't go out, they had plenty of time to spend on their phone, and many communities on Discord, on YouTube, and TikTok and were formed, and that they found people who feel like they belong there. They found friends, online friends, like that.
So that is the positive side of social media. And in the Philippine context, this is very visible. Reclaiming local beauty, we're now seeing the rise of conversation around Morena pride.
Yes.
Yeah. More Filipinos are embracing natural skin tones and rejecting the idea that lighter skin is superior. That, diba? Like Nadine Lostre, Catherine Bernardo, and Shuvi, like what we've mentioned earlier. Local content creators are also challenging Eurocentric standards, showing diverse features, natural textures, and real, unfiltered appearances. So these shifts are important because they directly challenge long-standing beauty norms influenced by colonial history. So instead of just consuming standards, people are starting to create their own.
Yeah.
But again, we need to ask, is this movement creating real change, or is it just becoming another trend shaped by the same system? Yes. We cannot help but ponder, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's a real change.
I think social media also, again, diba, it gives pride in our Moreno skin color. I think it also helps. I think it also helps cultural beauty standards because people here in the Philippines are rejecting the Eurocentric standards such as a tall nose. People are realizing that having a wide bulbous nose is actually natural here in the Philippines since we live in such a humid and hot country.
Yes.
So it actually makes us ask na who is responsible, who is going to take accountability for this. Because when we look at influencer culture, beauty standards, and all these many trends online, it's not easy to just point fingers at one group.
Yes.
But when you think about it more critically and deeply, it's actually very complicated. There isn't just one clear answer. There's many different people who see it in different ways, and that's what makes the topic so difficult and important to discuss. So let's break it down.
First is we have the platform. So social media use algorithms like they are designed to keep us engaged for as long as possible. Like what you share, what you like, what you comment, and more visible to a wider audience. And because of that, there are certain types of content that keeps appearing on our feed.
Yes.
And usually it's the kind of content that is visually appealing or trendy, right?
Yes,
Or
yes.
emotional engaging.
Yeah.
So when it comes to beauty, this often means content to show ideal looks like
Yeah.
the clear skin, the certain body types, or the specific beauty trends. And when we see this kind of content over and over again, it slowly starts to feel a normal thing for us. And even if we don't realize it, repetition can shape what we think is beautiful or attractive for us. So in a way that these platforms have a strong influence on what kind of content becomes popular and what kind of standards are being promoted in us, but at the same time, platforms don't actually create these content themselves. They are most likely responding to what people are agreeing with.
Yes.
So this brings us in an important question. Should these platforms be responsible for what they are algorithms promote, or are they simply reflecting what users already like or choose to interact with?
Yes. So next is we have the influencers. Influencers play a huge role because they are the ones creating and sharing the content that people see every day. They recommend products, show routines, and present certain lifestyle that can be very appealing because they feel relatable and authentic. Diba? People are most likely to trust what they say because it is based on their experience, kumbaga, but we really don't know what is the truth behind that. So it doesn't feel like a traditional advertisement. It feels more personal. However, not everything that is shown online is completely realistic, and that we have to be careful because there are times when the content is curated, edited, or filtered. There are also cases where influencers promote products through sponsorships, but the full picture isn't always shown. So, for example, the results of a product might look instant or perfect, but in reality, it might not work the same way for everyone, diba? Because of this, influencers can shape experiences and expectations that may not always match real-life experiences. So this raises another question. Should influencers be more responsible for what they promote and how
And
they
also,
present?
we should really wonder about if are they simply doing their job as content creators and marketers, or what they're seeing is actually real and genuine.
Yeah.
And that brings us to us, the audience. Sometimes we don't really think about our role, which is actually very important.
Yes.
The way we interact with content, liking, sharing, and commenting, or even just watching videos or the content affects what becomes popular online. The more we engage with a certain type of content, the more the algorithm pushes it.
Yes.
So in a way, we are also the ones deciding what trends grow, and what kind of content spreads.
Yes.
If we keep watching beauty content that promotes certain standards, and that type of content continues to appear, not just for us but also for other people, because it has gone trending. So it has gone to a farther, more global standard. So, well, at the same time, if you consume content passively without questioning it,
Yes.
we are more likely to be influenced by it, right?
Yeah.
But if we start being more aware and not just a passive receiver, if we start to question what we see, recognize the sponsored content or the fake sponsored content, and we start to understand that not everything online is realistic, then we can have more control of what affects us, and this leads us to another question. Are we also responsible for the trends we support through our engagement? And when we take a look of this together, it becomes clear that responsibility is not just on one side. Platforms shape what we see. Influencers shape how content is presented. But audiences shape what content becomes popular. All three are connected. They work like a triangle. If one side didn't exist, the whole system would collapse. And that's why they all play a role in how beauty standards and trends are formed online. So instead of asking who is completely responsible, maybe the better question is, how much responsibility does one side have? And that's where the discussion really begins.
That's really insightful.
Yeah.
So we ask ourselves that, are we victims of social media or the participants in the system?
Moving forward, navigating our social media mindfully. So, after talking about influencers, culture, and accountability, the next question is, where do we go from here? Because the reality is, social media isn't going away anytime soon. Pretty sure it's going to stick with us for a long time, right?
Yes.
Since it's already part of our daily lives. So instead of completely avoiding it, maybe the better approach is learning how to navigate it more mindfully.
Yes.
First, one important step would be to think more critically of what we consume. Because not everything we see online is completely real or accurate.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yes, we agree.
A lot of content is curated, edited, or influenced by trends and sponsorships. So instead of just accepting everything at face value, it's valuable to help and pause and ask the questions. For example, is this realistic? Is this sponsored? Or is this showing only one side of the story?
Yes.
Also, that is why it's very helpful when you scroll on TikTok and you
Yes.
see someone promoting something or a place or products. You should look down and see a sponsored activity or sponsored content, because it helps develop this kind of awareness that helps us avoid being easily influenced by everything we see. Also, another thing we can do is to curate our feed.
Curate?
Yeah, social media actually gives us control over what we see. We can block content creators, and we also have the control to follow accounts and the content we engage that shape our online environment.
So aside from, to add to the statement that you have stated, wherein we have to identify if it is a paid sponsorship, we also have to look for feedbacks that the users
yes.
already have experienced it. So we have to read it and then analyze it if we should consume that or buy that certain product.
You know when you like open Shopee and then you like search a specific things that you need, and then like you look for reviews, right? For like to like, if I buy this one, is this like a scam or not? So if there are many reviews, then you're going to buy it, right?
Yes.
Because if we keep following the same types of creators who promote very specific beauty standards, then that's what we'll keep seeing. But if we start following more diverse and realistic creators, people with different skin tones, body types, and styles, it can help broaden our perspective of what beauty looks like, diba? Over time, this can make our feed feel more balanced and less pressure. It is also important to understand that beauty standards are constructed. They are not fixed and they are not absolute. What is considered beautiful changes over time, and it is often influenced by culture, media, and society. So instead of seeing these standards as something we have to follow, we can start to question them and see them for what they are. Just ideas that have been shaped and repeated. Now, if you look at this in the Filipino context, this becomes even more meaningful. For a long time, we have known that certain beauty standards in the Philippines have been influenced by colonial history and Western ideals. This is why lighter skin, certain facial features like higher ridge nose, or specific body types are often seen as more desirable. But recently, there has been a growing movement toward reclaiming local identity. More people are starting to appreciate morena skin, natural features, and diverse looks that truly represent Filipinos.
Actually, it makes me wonder that what if starting from a young age, as children, we were exposed to many different skin types and content, and not only the pushed standard that whiter skin and matangos na nose is desirable. How would that change our perspectives right now? So by recognizing this, we can slowly unlearn those beliefs and start valuing our own identity more.
Yes.
So in the end, navigating social media isn't just easy. We have to be mindful because it's about being aware, being intentional, and making choices that support a healthier and more realistic view of beauty.
Yes.
Like Maya.
Because at the end of the day, what we choose to watch, believe, and engage with shapes how we see ourselves. So to wrap everything up, let's go back to the question we started with. What really shapes our idea of beauty?
Well, at the beginning, the answer might have seemed simple, but maybe we'll answer that social media or the influencers or the trends. But after the discussion that we had, from influencer culture to accountability and to how we navigate our social media, it becomes clear that it's very much more complex and complicated than that.
And beauty standards aren't just created by a one source, right?
Yes.
They're shaped by the platforms, the influencer, and even by us. And through this, we choose what to watch, what to like, and what to share.
And the more we're exposed to certain ideas over time, the more they start to feel normal. But at the same time, even if they're not always realistic or inconclusive, but at the same time, we're not completely powerless, right? We have the ability to question what we see. We have the choice to be more mindful of the content we consume. And we have the opportunity to redefine what beauty means. And it's not just based on trends, but based on what is real and actually meaningful to us.
So maybe the goal isn't just to completely escape beauty standards, right?
Yeah.
Because they will always exist in some form, but instead it's about learning not to let them fully define us.
And that brings us to the final thought that if beauty standards are always changing, then maybe the real question is, who are we trying to please?
Yes.
Now, before we end our podcast, I want to convey a very heartwarming sentiment that we do not have to fit into the media standards, to the media's beauty standards. We don't have to beautify ourselves. We don't have to buy products that will change our appearances. Because I want to remind you that you are beautiful in your own way. Now, this is Chika